Kirk's Starship Enterprise has a 12-year lost period, and Star Trek only hinted at what happened. For decades, Captain James T. Kirk's adventures aboard the Starship Enterprise have been a cornerstone of Star Trek lore. From the thrilling escapades of the original series TOS to the more expansive universe in movies and spin-offs, Kirk's timeline seems, at first glance, relatively well-charted. Yet, astute fans have long noted a glaring anomaly, a mysterious 12-year period in the Enterprise's history that is barely mentioned in official canon. This gap, often called the Lost Years, has sparked endless speculation and, in some circles, outright fan conspiracy theories. What could have happened during this missing chapter? And why did the creators of Star Trek choose to leave it so tantalizingly ambiguous? The timeline begins cleanly enough. In 2265, Kirk takes command of the Enterprise NCC 1701 and immediately launches into 5 years of exploration, diplomacy, and combat missions across the galaxy. The original series covers roughly 3 of these years, culminating in the iconic 5-year mission, as noted in several scripts and reference books. After the events of TOS, the timeline becomes murky. The first Star Trek movie, released in 1979, is set in 2271, which leaves a 6-year span between the end of the original series and the film. Adding in the years between the events of the second, third, and fourth films, a curious pattern emerges. The Enterprise seems to exist in a temporal limbo where missions and stories are unaccounted for, creating a cumulative lost period of roughly 12 years. Officially, the franchise hints at this gap through fleeting references rather than detailed accounts. In Star Trek, the motion picture, for instance, Admiral Kirk remarks on his time away from the Enterprise, speaking vaguely about assignments and duties he cannot recall in detail. Later, in Star Trek II, The Wrath of Khan, the backstory mentions past missions that supposedly forged the intense rivalry between Kirk and Khan Noonien Singh, yet only a few specifics are given. The films, therefore, establish a sense of history without fully documenting it, implying that Kirk's adventures continued in ways that audiences are never shown. Fans have speculated that this lost period could contain missions far more consequential than what appeared on screen. One popular theory suggests that Kirk's Enterprise was deeply involved in clandestine operations on the galactic frontier, missions that Starfleet might have preferred to keep classified. These could include first contact scenarios with civilizations far beyond the Federation's typical reach, covert intelligence gathering on potentially hostile empires, or even experimental voyages into unstable regions of space. The Enterprise's advanced technology and Kirk's audacious leadership would make such assignments plausible, yet they were never recorded in the public logs of the era. Another intriguing possibility arises from a recurring theme in Star Trek, the unpredictability of time itself. Episodes like The City on the Edge of Forever and Tomorrow is Yesterday demonstrate that time travel and temporal anomalies are recurring hazards for Starfleet. It is conceivable that during this lost period, the Enterprise encountered events that disrupted normal chronology, events that might explain why documentation is sparse or contradictory. Perhaps Kirk experienced missions that only he remembered, or perhaps the timelines themselves were altered in ways that left only hints in his memory. This would explain the franchise's reluctance to provide concrete details. Such stories might have created paradoxes too complex to resolve in the continuity of later series and films. Even more tantalizing are the human stories potentially buried within those 12 years. Kirk's crew, including Spock, McCoy, Scotty, and the others, surely experienced personal growth and interpersonal drama during this time. What tensions arose during long, unrecorded missions? Did new officers join the crew temporarily, only to be written out of official records? Could romantic entanglements, rivalries, and crises of conscience have defined this uncharted chapter? Star Trek hints at some of these developments in passing, characters referencing old friends, unmentioned battles, or scars from unseen adventures, but leaves fans to piece together the puzzle themselves. It is also worth noting that this lost period may have practical reasons outside the narrative. In the 1960s, the original series only ran for 3 seasons, leaving gaps in storytelling that later writers needed to fill retroactively. The vagueness surrounding the missing years may have been a convenient narrative tool. By leaving gaps, the franchise allowed for flexibility in novels, comics, and fan fiction, all of which could explore adventures the shows never had time to depict. In a sense, the 12-year gap became a creative playground,